Okay. Here we go. This is an analysis of an absurd game played by Narik. Narik redeemed a game review on the stream with his channel points. It's one of my channel point rewards. I'll review a game of your choice. And he submitted this game, which you guys will see. You guys will see what happens. I've not been looking forward to this, but here we go. We're gonna do our best to review this game. Okay. The game begins. E4. E4 is a very Chad move. Then again, as you can see, it's reverse royalty. So, not a really big deal. As far as I understand, Mage actually was the white player and Narik was the black player. So, you know, it's interesting. There hasn't been a lot of talk regarding like E4 theory. I think that a lot of people haven't delved too deeply into that. I'm still not sure myself. I mean, basically I think every pawn move is, like, relatively speaking, safe. I tend to still start knight c3, which is like the equivalent of a knight f3 here, because royal queen is on the d file. So I don't know. Nothing too crazy about e4 here, other than the fact that it looks kind of wonky, but we'll figure it out. Okay. Wait, did I say the banned word right after I said that word? When? Is that true? When did I say that? You said no! Did I actually say that? All right, clip it, chat. Clip it. Okay. Let's get through this. Let's get through this fucking analysis. Okay. Knight c6. Makes a lot of sense. Like I said, I like knight c3 anyway. It's not, I mean, you can just tell. I mean, any game where, like, the pawn that is only defended by the royal piece, no matter the game mode, is going to be a weak spot, right? So covering that early, I don't know. Maybe there are crazy bishop travels that are possible. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. But knight c6, pretty much what I would have played anyway. Okay, f3 next. f3 makes a lot of sense. Okay, trigonals are something that you have to worry about. The thing is, like, I'm not sure that this is almost the equivalent of, like, the London system structure that's played, except, like, on the other side. I guess, which is interesting, because I wasn't aware that Mage was, like, super into the London structure, like the knight f3, d4, etc. But you're basically playing for the same thing. The only thing is here, like, I don't know the extent to which this is actually necessary to cover up this diagonal immediately, because the only, like, triagonals are still an issue, but the only way that the opponent can take advantage is with their other royal piece, right? So, like, h5 isn't accessible to the black royal queen. Like, how the hell do you get this piece over there? B, in all of the intervening moves, this royal queen is vulnerable, right? It's like, it's basically never going to happen. But, you know, if you're going to do it at some point, you might as well do it later. Begs the question of how you're going to develop this knight. I mean, needless to say, it prevents the frappuccino of this bishop on the king side. So, but hey, this is what we've got. D6 in response. D6 in response. Okay. Well, opening up for the bishop. I have seen Narik do this before. I think this is partially to... I mean, the thing is, like, with this structure, this doesn't make a ton of sense because the bishop doesn't have access to any of these squares. Unless you want to do like a pawn break or something, like, immediately to attempt to... Because, like, the only cheese that really exists in this game mode is, like, some type of sort of restructuring and posturing so that you can do, like, a wacky sack onto c2, and then it pulls the queen out, and then you have, like, some sort of travel, or you set up some sort of other mate, right? So... I mean, this does ready the queen. Like, I've seen a lot of woo, excuse me. I've seen a lot of, like, push the d pawn, get the knight out, and then, like, the bishop comes to f5, like, optimistically eyeing up c2. But white just has so many ways to prevent that, so I don't really know. But hey, let's see how this develops. There isn't too much theory, so again, like, it's difficult for me to go too into depth regarding, like, opening structure. I'm happy with leaving it there for now. Bishop c4. Okay, interesting. I mean, similar to the opposite London structure, like, this is exactly how you'd play it, right? With the exception of c3. Like, in a standard game, or in a turn 0 rather, then it would be like knight f3 to prevent the queen travel, which isn't, like, a thing in this game, like offensive queen travel. You'd have knight f3, but it would be d4 c3 rather than e4 f3. And then you pull the bishop out immediately, looking for some travels, right? I mean, bishop travel actually works in this game. I mean, you don't have the same follow-ups. You can't do, like, check and then, like, a, you know, queen travel or whatever. But, you know, you get these knights involved, and suddenly this bishop essentially pins this knight to the c7 square. So, makes sense. I mean, it's kind of alone. Like, it can get kicked maybe, but not super easily without weakening the structure. So, makes a lot of sense. I mean, the other square that it eyes up is the f7 square, but, you know, the common king is defending, so f7 is not a big deal like it is in standard. Let's keep going, because I know we have a lot of moves to get through. Bishop c86. Interesting. Well, I considered this, but it doesn't seem fantastic, because after recaptures, you're weakening your structure. But I guess maybe black just really... Oh, okay, well, it's evident that by making this move, black is clearly stating, I value your... or you value your light square bishop more than I value my light square bishop, right? Because structurally, it's weakening. If takes here and then takes here. It's just double pawns opposite this pawn here. It's, like, a little ugly. I guess you want to push here anyway, but then that opens up the queen side more. Doesn't look fantastic. Maybe the assertion is that if something happens here, maybe the other option is that black thought that they're making, like, a tempo play, like they could bounce back after the trade actively. Ordinarily, there's the consideration that if you do a piece trade like this, it benefits the person being traded on, especially in this game, because the rooks are so difficult to activate, and so you sort of open. But in this case, opening that file doesn't seem like it does very much for black. Let's see how it plays out. Okay, so we do have bishop captures on e6, and then only available pawn recaptures. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, knight c3. Clear developing move. There's nothing really tactical going on here. You want to activate your pieces. It's always scary to see the side of your board with the royal piece on it completely barren. So you want to watch out for that, right? Right and Wrong's back. Hey, Right and Wrong, how's it going? Review from my perspective, please. All right. We can do that. It's actually difficult. It's more difficult for me to read the notation that way, but we'll do it like that. All right, we're reviewing from Nariq's perspective. Okay. By the way, Right and Wrong, congrats on winning the boss fight earlier. You can go back and watch the VOD for how we untangled that mess. But yeah, all right. We can do that. Okay, now we have... Oh, that's Common King, right? Okay. Common King d7. Getting a Common King active early makes a lot of sense. I really don't like black's structure here. I mean, I guess what's gonna happen is that you're gonna activate this knight, and then you're gonna Frappuccino this bishop, right? I think there's a lot of benefit to doing that before you push the Common King. I don't think it matters too much because it's reverse royalty, right? Tempo plays aren't actually really a thing. Like, it's too hard to develop an attack with single pieces because you don't have the queen that threatens a bunch of ridiculous travel softmates, right? So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter too much. You want to activate this piece eventually anyway. And who knows, maybe this sets up for an exile in a little bit. Let's keep going. Okay. Common King d7. d3 is played. Makes sense. Activate this bishop. You're gonna want to get this Common King involved. Probably not gonna take away the only square for the knight. So you're gonna want to pull it to d3 eventually, right? So very straightforward. Very straightforward developing move. g6 happens. As we said, Comma King. Yeah, Comma King. The Comma King. You're going to Frappuccino the bishop. That's the only way I'd activate it. Look at this. These pawns aren't going anywhere. If this pawn somehow, there's like this Herculean effort to push this pawn up and then this pawn, you've still got this pawn. Like, the only way this bishop will see the light of day right now, it's trapped. It's trapped in a basement. I guess it's more of a well, because there's a little bit of light that tantalizingly trickles down from the open F file onto this bishop, but of course the bishop can't move in that direction. You know, it's like it's like in the Dark Knight, the second one, the Dark Knight Rises or whatever, where he's like in the pit and he can't climb out. That's basically it. So this move is the only way that this bishop is ever going to escape the back rank, right? So let's see. I mean, the nice thing about the Common King here is that finally this pawn has a defender. Otherwise, it's kind of, you know, it's weak. It's undefended. Andre doesn't think that black's pawn structure is bad. It doesn't look fantastic. I mean, it's not losing, but let's see. Can put a rook on an F file. Yeah, no, I agree with that, but I would argue that it's not that great. Rook on the F file. I don't know, especially in reverse royalty, right? My Common King is ripped. I call him, okay, very funny. Very, very nice. Nice try. All right. We're going to Frappuccino the bishop. That's what's going to happen. That's clear. Okay. Bishop e3. Is that the best square for that bishop? I guess. Yeah, that's all right. I mean, hard to complain. Where would I have put that bishop? I don't know. You don't want to overextend. I mean, I guess if bishop comes out here, then you sort of kick it with tempo, and that's not fantastic. Yeah, I guess it's not helpful to overextend anyway. Like pawn play, providing tempo, like the opportunity, especially on the king side, in reverse royalty to allow your opponents to like pushing up the pawns is more of a win condition and less of like a structural disadvantage. It's less easy to overextend, relatively speaking, to turn zero. So like giving your opponent free pawn pushes, like in turn zero, normally it's not that big a deal, or in standard. Because if they do, then that like sometimes you can really bait out, like in a lot of situations, your opponent's back rank pawns to give you like a crazy time travel mate, right? I assume that we're nowhere near finishing the game. Bro, we just started. Central control also, the kind of central control that doesn't put you in danger. No, it's true. It's true. It's a little clumsy. The pieces are less coordinated, but it's not losing by any means. Okay, let's keep it going. After this move, we've got the Frappuccino. No surprise. No surprise. Nothing to be said there. I mean, this is going to be key to, you know, you got your Frappuccino, the sniper, staring down the opposite side's royal piece, right? Very good. Okay. Knight G1 E2. Only way that you're going to activate this piece. Again, very standard. Reverse royalty. It's not like turn zero. There aren't these crazy tactical considerations for every single turn. You can actually develop these plans where it's like, okay, you know, I do this, this, that, and then win the game. Sure, that being said, is there like a weird, not quite Tchaikovsky ideas? Well, no, because how do you travel? Never mind, I take it back. So your job is to develop your pieces. Now that you've pushed F3 as white, the only place that your G knight is going to go is E2, right? So the move plays itself. Move 8, a fifth of the way there. All right. Okay. Knight H. Sorry, what? Oh, okay. I got ahead of myself. My bad. After knight E2, we have... Oh, Y is royal queen in the notation, right? Of course it is. Oh, okay. We have a time travel. Royal queen goes back one turn. To E8. Why? Why would you do this? All right, this is where we have reached the first bite of spice in the dish that Narika served up for us. But like I mean, I know that he's trying to exile his queens, right? That's not a secret. Did I exile good Samet Senpai? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what the fuck this move is. What does it mean? Why does it happen? What is the goal? Explain to me. I guess it's, in some sense, it is my job to do the explaining, but what the fuck? Actually, because the F file is open, there's an interesting anti-exile strat here. Actually, it's not fantastic. I was thinking you pull a bishop here, and then you time travel to like a board like this, where like this queen has to recapture. But then this knight comes out and defends anyway. What is this move? Why? What the fuck? Notes taken? Yeah. Write this down, Narik. What advantage does this grant you? I don't. It feels like I should have a comment on this. Oh my god. Okay. They baited me into saying the banned word. All right. All right. Okay. You know what? We're moving on. Fuck this. Okay. Travel happened. Now Knight H3 is played on this board. Okay, so maybe here I can say a few words about actually accidental. I don't even believe you. At this point, I should say a word or two about what I feel the counter to exiling is. If your opponent spends turns putting boards on the map where they have extra vulnerabilities, then it's rather intuitive, in my opinion, that the way to play around that is to duplicate boards on which they have introduced said vulnerabilities to the game, right? So what I mean by that, pretty straightforwardly, is what White's plan now is to do is to move up some of their pieces, and then in a few turns travel back. The more turns the better, by the way, because the further back you go when you counter travel the exile to duplicate boards, the more turns it is before realistically black can like run some of their pieces away or counter travel. I think that Knight H3 is a start here. Kind of a weird move. But you can imagine, like what I said earlier, like the interesting travel from earlier. You can kind of do that now on this board. Like imagine a bishop travel to here on this board might be spicy, right? Because takes here, or, you know, like travels here, only moves takes here, or captures. That's another one. And then knight out here, and then this bishop out here, and then only, well, it's not only move is captures here, but, you know, there's like some funky stuff going on where suddenly you can like draw out these queens using the open diagonal. And then with this knight out here, okay, I take it back. This knight is actually a fantastic move. Why? Because your goal is going to be to duplicate this board and to travel pieces onto it in such a way that you have like equipment, you have material that you can use to throw at these queens and slowly pull them out so that you can, so that a mating net occurs, right? So that's what white is trying to do. What's black trying to do? Good question. Well, here's the problem. I don't really understand what the advantage is here for black. I mean, an advantage is that now they have a board where they don't have to worry about getting mated. And they want to duplicate this board as much as possible, right? Ordinarily, exiling, in my opinion, is really only potent seriously when you get to the point where you have a soft mate on a board, and then you like exile your pieces onto timelines that are inactive, but that are inaccessible unless somehow the opponent can deal with the soft mate on the intermediate board. So I really don't know. I don't know. Pull out does not equal. That's funny. That's a good one. Okay, let's see how this plays out. We're gonna try. We don't have a fantastic idea of what black's ideas are here, but when we see it, maybe we can do our best to optimize it. That's how we're gonna approach. That's how we're gonna approach this analysis. We almost mated white in standard theory. Well, I know that. Yeah. Okay. Knight f6. Knight f6 here. Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, besides the fact that you're developing, like, obviously, you're gonna have issues where, like, a travel happens onto here, like I was saying. So, okay. I mean, clearly one thing that you need to do when you're doing this exiling is to immediately shore up any of those. Like, what I said, as the exiling player, you have to take into account what the counterplay is, and then prevent that from happening, right? This open F file was a clear liability for the aforementioned travel. Black makes that impossible, and I think that that's the way to play the game. Like, what they might want to do next is probably something like H3 to prevent this knight from hopping in, right? I mean, obviously, if you're not exiling behind a soft mate, then you're setting yourself up so that you're putting boards onto the map where your opponent can duplicate them, and you don't want to give them the opportunity to do that favorably, right? I'm gonna head off. Enjoy some at Suffering chat. All right. See you later, Poison. Thanks for hanging out. Always a good time. Catch you next week. Maybe can be sometimes good practically. I agree. All right, Sonoy's off too. All right, well, someone else is going to have to take over for counting. So, Peace. Has anyone beaten Lexi quicker than me? I don't know the game you're referring to, so I'm not sure. Quicker than I, by the way. You're omitting the elliptical clause from the complete phrase, quicker than I have. But all good. All right, Crazy's counting. Okay, all right. Knight F6. Clear developing move, shores up the holes, and you don't want to give white favorable travels. This is what you do. This is clearly what you do. Okay, here we go. Bishop G5 makes sense, putting pressure on the one thing that is keeping this file close. I mean, yeah, you want to load up your pieces here. I was thinking maybe knight out would be better, because the one this is why I suggested that H6 count. I think I called this H3, but it's obviously H6. Is to prevent a piece from hopping in here. You want to prevent these travels from taking place, right? Honestly, I wonder if setting up for a travel onto this knight was better. Debatable. Okay. The other consideration is that, of course, these pieces from this board now interact with this board. So let's see here. And on 0L, we've got H4. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe the idea is that you want to push up. I don't know what the idea is. Could be some wonky cheese where you push the rook up. Could be something where you want to push this pawn up onto this board. You want to load all your pieces onto this board so that you can sack back onto it, right? I don't know. This is interesting. Let's see what happens with H4. Unintuitive. All right. Now, on 0L, we've got knight c6 goes to e5, which kicks this bishop and also maybe threatens some pressure here somehow. I don't know. I think it's obvious that the main thing that it's doing is attempting to trade with this bishop. But also you're trying to develop threats of your own, right? What are those threats right now? Not fantastically clear. The thing is, well, I mean, if you could get another piece in here, then you can attack this singly defended pawn, right? So maybe d3 is like a weakness in the structure for white. None of these pieces are actually looking at it. Then again, common king d2 is gonna like solve that problem in a little bit. Unclear to what extent. Okay. So let's look at this next move. Wait, this move happens and a travel happens? Why wouldn't you travel first? When is there ever a benefit to doing that? Am I reading this notation right? Let's see here. What's actually going on? Well, okay, so what's the other move? What's the other move that black makes? Royal queen e8 goes to d8 here. Why would you do this? Wrong move. Oh, you're right. You're right. My bad. My bad. Oh, it's on turn 10. Or on turn 9, rather. Sorry. Is this move. The e8 queen goes to d8. Okay, and that's why you made this move first. I understand. I understand. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I get it. I get it. Okay. What the hell is going on here? Did I get that right? T9, royal queen on e8 goes to 0L, d8. Yeah, I got that right. What? Also wrong move? Am I blind? Royal queen -1L, T9, E8 goes to D8 on 0L. D8 queen to D8? Bro, I'm reading the notation. No. It's the E8 queen. Unless this notation is wrong. But, oh wait, never mind. All right, don't bait me into thanks. I'm dealing with enough stressors here at the moment. All right. All right, this is the move. What the fuck? What's the threat? Why? Taking here and then what? What's the plan after that? Do you have any parallel attacks? Here is covered by this bishop. Where do black's bishops go? This queen with this. Can't bring this knight in to threaten there. That square's covered doubly. Off limits. What else is happening here? Did I genuinely say that word? Fuck me. Okay. Now I can't even. All right. Whatever. Stress tensors equals stressors. That's funny. Let's keep going because I don't see it. I don't see the threat. We're gonna have to see the threat before we can comment on the threat. So, e3 bishop goes to f4 here. Kicks the knight. Makes sense to me. -1L. The h3 knight goes to f2. That's interesting. Why does this happen? Could be to, I mean, defend the bishop somehow from this board. So that, like, if knight takes here, then this knight recaptures, right? If I had to guess, that's probably it. I mean, you could also trade this bishop in for this knight, and that would achieve the same thing. I'm going to go with that. Protect the king from future bishops. Oh, I think so. This is reverse royalty, so the object is to checkmate the opponent's queen, not the king. The king is just a normal piece that moves like a king, but it can be captured, so it's not actually a big deal. So yeah, it's not about closing the king triagonal in this case. Yeah, no, easy mistake to make. But that's why these pieces look a little wonky. It's a pretty crazy game mode. It's one of my favorites. So would recommend. Okay, I think that it's probably to defend this bishop from this knight capturing this bishop like that. That makes sense to me, right? Straightforward. Again, 2 timelines, lots of tricksy stuff. There is now officially a queen on an inactive board. I mean, if you really want to punish exiled queens, you have to get some travels onto the board where there are multiple queens. Otherwise, I think that you're fighting a losing battle. So the clock is ticking in some sense for that to happen. So let's see how black deals with this. Okay. So this has happened. Now we've got 0L 95 goes to goes 1 turn back. Oh, the bishop doesn't recapture itself because you're traveling from this board. Right. Okay. Now we understand what the hell is going on. All right, so ordinarily you can't travel back 1 turn to take a bishop in the past. Why? Pretty simple, although you can recapture like this, so it's not fantastic. Then again, you give up this pawn in the process, and that seems pretty scary. So hard to say what the best defense is here. Yeah, ordinarily you can't take a bishop 1 turn in the past, but that's only on your bottom, like on the lowest timeline. Because then the new timeline here, that piece will be defending itself in the past, etc., etc. But if you do it on a timeline that's not the lowest timeline, then that can't happen. That just doesn't work that way. Now, here's a thing that actually can happen. If white was really smart, then they could make a single timeline to activate this timeline, make some threatening move here. I don't know what. I don't know what the right move would be. And then this bishop on that turn, after they've made 1 move, can recapture the knight here. That's kind of tricksy. How do I exile Stronker? Good question. I mean, I would say you probably don't exile before you've got more pieces activated, right? Like this knight, okay, your opponent has left some vulnerabilities, which I think they can shore back up again with some clever counterplay here. But like it feels like when you exile, your attacks have less tempo. Right? And so, I mean, it's true that the longer you wait, the more counterplay you provide to your opponent. But I can't imagine that, like, mathematically it evens out to... Like on this board, right? You're in no rush on this board. Well, in this case, you saw an opportunity and you took it, which is fantastic. But, like, why would you not want to... As much as it's white's goal to duplicate boards on which black has 2 queens, it is black's goal to duplicate boards on which black doesn't have any queens, right? So like, why would you not use your and also the more timelines that you make, the more like the adjacent boards that you make are going to play off of each other. So like, it's strictly advantageous, is it not, to wait until you've developed more pieces before you start exiling, right? Oh, does the past tense count? Yeah, why not? I think so. The present progressive tense counted earlier, so. So I guess I'd say patience, right? Like it's gonna be better for the boards are gonna be better for you, and your attacks on the exiled boards that you duplicate without any of your queens on them are gonna be stronger if you wait longer, right? Am I wrong about that? Unless you're afraid that no, because like on this, it'd be one thing if I meant that like on this board, because like, oh, you give your opponent the chance for counterplay, but here there's no such excuse me, doesn't my opponent develop further as well? It's true, but I guess I feel like I mean, what's true is that you would also you would simultaneously be developing more pieces. You'd be bringing boards where there are more of your opponent's pieces closer to your queens, but for the most part, your queens are going to be up here anyway. Not so much down here. And you're gonna run into that problem anyway if your opponent is successfully reduplicating the boards where you've got multiple queens. So I mean, it's definitely like a trade-off. I mean, in this case, this looks tricky to defend, so you know, probably you rattle it off anyway. But no, I think that the counter, like I was saying, that the stronger exile is the one behind the soft mate, right? And like this isn't close to enabling that to happen. So I'd say that probably it's going to be more threatening. I mean, it's obviously a trade-off. Your opponent does develop further as well. But I mean, I don't know. What's the follow-up? Maybe it's just because I'm inexperienced, but this doesn't seem so crazy to me. Now, I mean, there is if your opponent doesn't deal with it properly, then they're kind of fucked. Like if they activate this board first and then let it play out a bunch, and then it comes over here, you know, and then you can maybe start doing some crazy stuff. Then again, is like queen over actually the worst move in the game? You know? Oh. And capture here. And then takes. Check. And this takes here, takes. I said the word a bunch. Okay, well, that happened. It was actually an interesting game. You may enjoy some parts. All right. Let's keep going. We're only on turn 11. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. And then this queen goes to d8. All right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Oh, it's on. No. Yeah, I did that right. D8. Turn 10, D8. Okay. Exiling the queen. Yep, that's what you do. Okay, so. Here. Bishop F4. Yeah. Oh, wait, on 0L? Oh, I thought he was going to do the travel on the other board. Okay. Okay, hey, this is what I said to do. Great minds, am I right? The bishop travels to F8. Sick. Okay. I think this is actually probably premature, and actually you wanted to do it on the board. Actually, you can't do that on this board because this knight blocks shrewdly. But let's see what happens. This obviously checks royal queen down there, so this is actual literal only move. This is how it goes. This happens. Now, what? Okay. Common queen F2 or common king F2? Why the fuck would you do that? Knight out makes sense. What? Like, even if you're trying to get the... I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Common king f2 happens. This queen runs back. Obviously, white probably wants to travel to a board that looks like this one. Maybe with a bishop, right? I can't imagine that this is better than, like, knight h3. No, I mean, there's like only one thing to do here as black, right? And that's to get your queen to safety. Clearly asserting dominance by bonk clouding, evidently, yeah. No, royal queen back to d8 makes a lot of sense. Would I have brought the royal queen anywhere else? I don't really know. But I mean, if you don't move this queen, the next turn you're gonna get like next turn you've got to cover this up, and then if you do that, then there's this check which lures the royal queen out, and that's gonna be a nightmare, right? All right, let's see what happens. I think this is sensical. Royal queen d8 is also great because you can travel back to d8. Well, I guess you could have done that anyway because it's adjacent. But I mean, you know, these pawns seem pretty well guarded. Putting it behind the common king makes a lot of sense because this common king is going to be like a really good defensive resource around the royal queen. So fair enough. All right, now knight c3 goes to c5 one turn before. Why would you play common king f2? And why would you... I guess it is bonk clouding to assert dominance, right? Like, that's even bad from the perspective of, like, if you wanted to somehow do, like, a propagating mate after this bishop is, like, somewhere else. Because that, like, you would want to do common king e2 so that you can get your royal queen to f1 and then push a pawn and then like mate this queen in the past or something, right? So, and then why the fuck would you go one turn back to c5? I don't know, but clearly the move is to get your queen out of the way, right? Because then you don't give white like a turn to travel to. All right, okay, hold on. Let's slow down and actually do some analysis. All right. Clearly, it's the thing about knight c5 travel is that you're giving black a choice, right? You're asking them, okay, do you want to like eliminate this threat, or which leaves the queen on the f file and then allows for, you know, some like tricksy counterplay, or do you want queen safety, but on the flip side, you enable me to do something really annoying, like take the b7 pawn or something like that, right? And I think it's evident that that's the that's the idea. Question is, now that you've forced this, how do you benefit? Okay, now you've got some interesting travels on the board below, right? I don't like it. I don't like this vein of counterplay for white. I would have preferred to generate more boards where there are two queens and then crack the position open there, because it's going to be twice as difficult for them to corral all of the vulnerabilities. But hey, this is what's going on. Okay. I mean, white's plan is clear here. They force this, and then there are some tricksy moves like this. Is this what actually ends up happening? No, it's not. Wow, this knight ends up taking this common king. Okay. That's interesting. All right. Why not? Knight takes d7 happens. And then back here, what tier are we on? Okay, this is T9. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're approaching the point where the game fucking blows up and becomes illegible. Okay. Knight d7. On L1, we have knight g8, f6. Makes sense. Block it again. Same reason that you would do this, you know, down here, where you cover this up to disable this travel from happening, right? And here, yeah, common queen takes. Now you don't have that many pieces out. So how do you actually, what? You check here, and the goal is for to open up this triagonal. How do you take advantage of that? Seems optimistic. Seems optimistic. I disagree with white's play here, but it is what it is. Okay. Now, Jesus Christ. Okay, so these boards have now come into play, right? So making two timelines has been a bit of a detriment. Again, I would have made the one and then used probably this bishop to recapture or something like that. I don't know. That's just me. Let's see what happens. -2 to knight c3. Okay, so he does recapture here and allow this really scary looking capture here. That seems kind of bonkers to me. Maybe I would have like played another move here before doing these travels to allow for this pawn to be defended or something like that. Analysis, I will exile so much stronger. Yeah, okay. But like, I mean, yeah, allowing this move seems absolutely insane to me. But, you know, what do I know? Trial is only available one turn. Ah, that's good to know. Oh, there was nothing to take the turn after. Right, you are. All right, that's fair enough. But no, my point stands. I probably would have tried to recapture with the bishop a turn later instead of doing like all this stuff here. Maybe it's worth white generating their own threats. But again, that I'm a little biased because my counterplay would have been to travel back onto the boards with the doubled queens. But let's just see what happens here. Okay, so down there the knight recaptures. Turn 1 we have knight g1 h3. L2 we have knight c3 b5. Okay. I don't know if I'm getting spooked yet as black, but let's see what happens. Okay, up here we have queen back to her home. This queen, is moved back to d8, moved back to d8. Do I agree? Yeah, I think so. What other move would you make? Maybe defend this pawn here. What you want to do is discourage any travels to... I mean, you do enable after another timeline is made down here. This takes here one turn in the past. That doesn't seem so scary. I don't know. Then again, there's the open. The reason this was such a compelling home square for the royal queen before was that the common king was defending all of the adjacent squares. It probably makes sense. I was wondering if maybe something like, I don't know. I mean, you got to defend this, right? So it's not like you can run away to e8 or anything. And you probably don't want to enable any travel onto this pawn if you move it to... Okay. I agree. Queen d8 is probably the safest bet. Right now, at least. Okay. Rook a8 to b8. All right. Very, very good. He makes shrewdly spots that knight b7 is being threatened. And doesn't allow it. All right. Down here on minus 2L... Bishop g7 to b2. Yep, that's what we were afraid of. And then knight c6 goes to d4. Why not? Why not? So you're gonna recaptures, and then I guess like this is an even trade, and then probably the common king comes up and then defends both of those knights, right? This is a little spooky. I guess you probably just scoot the rook over. Next turn. Wow, we made it to turn 17. Okay. Let's see. Plus 1L, knight h3 goes to g5. Makes sense. 2 knight g1, h3. Yep. You got to activate your knights. The level of analysis is probably going to be equal to the amount of time. Like when explosions happen like this, you can't delve like super deep unless there's like an eminent like tactical idea that is currently being formed. I mean, here you're just developing these pieces, right? Like in a game, this is what you think. Like, okay, I want to develop threats. I want to get my pieces out there, and I want to make travels happen. Now, that is the one thing where like the only thing about this board is that this knight hasn't been played yet to prevent like a travel. I wonder if maybe even instead of knight h3, bishop f4, preparing like a travel onto this board. Kind of spooky, no? Because then that happens, right? Wait, there's no travel necessary. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm going nuts. Travel onto this board, checking this royal queen here, and then queen caps, right? And then you check here, and then what the fuck does black do? That's like a lethal attack. Yo, I found a lethal attack. This is super spooky. You're kind of fucked. Right? Like, I wonder if maybe even, like, instead of this queen move, if just plugging up this... Like, the reason that I commended that knight move on the other boards, right, was that it prevented this bishop travel shenanigans. I think that probably you wanted to play knight f6 here. Am I crazy? Nice find. Yeah. Yeah, because this is what you do, right? This is how you do with exiled queens. If they're taking so many turns to run away, like, you have to... you want to incrementally develop your position and then travel back to it with, like, more and more of a threat in place, right? So like with the last travel, we did this, and then we managed to get our knight into like this position, right? With the next travel, we're gonna have like a bishop here, and then this knight will be on that board, and they can't deal with both at the same time. So then you play this knight here, and then the queen goes somewhere, and then you can check this queen on this board again, and something goes somewhere, and then they clamber to prevent this mate from happening if they can, which they can't do it in the first 2 turns because you can provide 2 checks. And then if bishop here is an already mate, you go bishop here, and then you travel to that board. You know what I mean? So that's like a clear mating strategy here for white. Bishop h3 seems kind of impotent, but maybe there's time pressure. It's so we're less than halfway in the game. I don't know. Let's get mate with that travel, right? Yeah, super spooky. Because then you can't cover here, and then you can't cover there. So what do? Pawn out, but then white waits the turn, pushes the pawn. Yeah, man. Might be a mate here. So I guess this, the lesson as the exiler is, I mean, obviously on the positive boards as black here, as the exiling player, you want queen defense to be like the #1 priority, right? But I guess here you really want to prioritize, like, when you open up this hole like this, preventing any of those crazy travels. I guess you already saw it once, so it's not much of a surprise that this is like a threat. So I would guess that maybe here is going to be an okay to forego the queen back here, because there's no obvious threat here or from this board yet. So I guess it just goes to show the importance of shutting the door here, as it were, which is really interesting. Also, he's a bishop. Knight 2 checks 2 boards down. That's true. You're not wrong. Wait, what? Hold on, sorry. What? 92 checks? 92? What's he? Not 92. What? 92. 92 checks 2 boards down. Ah, that's right. Okay, you're saying knight d7. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. So not only is that mating sequence mate on this board, actually, so if you like travel the bishop here, queen goes here, knight here, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Sorry, it's this queen here. Yeah. So the timeline is over here, right? So new timeline up here. You have the bishop here, so this is forced, and then on this board up here, you will have a knight on d7 here, soft mating this queen down here. So actually is genuinely mate, which is pretty cool. F4 is defended, so none of this works though. F4 is defended, so none of this works. F4 is defended. Oh, you mean by this knight? No, you're not wrong, but this knight can check the queen, so you can always prevent that, right? Like bishop F4, knight here, you know what I mean? So I mean here, instead of, the knight came here to check, but like next move, how many? Okay, so from here, let's do the math. So if you want to go f8, 7, 6, 5, 5 would be on this board, so then 4 would be on the next board. So yeah, so you could do it next turn. You could do bishop f4 and then check here or something like that. Anyway, let's not get too bogged down. That's not what happened in the game. We're reviewing what actually happened in the game. What happened here? -1L. Knight c3 goes to b5. Sure, why not? Makes sense. This is always going to be a weakness. Apparently, this is a massive weakness. Good to know that you want to prevent your opponent from collapsing onto that square, right? Yikes. Okay. What happens down here? Rook a1, b1. Yep. That's what you got to do. -4. Oh, he plays on the board that he doesn't need to. But why? All right, sure, why not? Knight e2, d4. Okay, cool. Well, okay, that's what's happened. All right, so let's see what the attack is here. Bishop b2 goes to c2 on the board above. Yeah, I mean, like we said at the very outset, C2 is the weakness that you're going to collapse on, right? And this is the reason that it was so important to prevent this move from happening. This pulls the queen out. There isn't a knight here to recapture down there, so shit. This you can't recapture with this knight. So is there anything that you can threaten? Oh, you know what you could do? You could capture here with this bishop, so that after you capture here, if recaptures, then recaptures from this square, which is super dangerous. Wow. And is that what happens? Okay, -3, bishop g7, d4. Yeah, you take the free knight. And then on 0L, common king e8. That's not what I said at all. What? Why? Why not take this bishop? Or take this knight with the bishop? Because you allow this. Am I taking crazy pills? The hell kind of a move is... The hell kind of a move is... Common king back. Okay, I mean, there must be a method to the madness. Like... I mean, it defends against this fork. I guess. This knight was doing that anyway, and so was this bishop. So I guess that's the idea. But maybe you don't want to move this knight? Question mark. White is guarding the knight with his pawn. Yeah. White is definitely guarding the knight with his pawn. But the problem is that if you take with the... Okay, so here, what you've done is sacked a bishop from here to here so that you force the queen out so that you can mate it, right? Like next turn you can deliver a check and he has to cover, you know, it's like really spooky for him. So if you take this knight with this bishop, what you don't... Like the only way that white can avoid recapturing this with white's queen is by recapturing it with the knight from this board. But if you take this knight on this board at the same time as taking this pawn here, then if white recaptures with the pawn, then it's just a fair trade, so you're not losing material. But more importantly, it forces them to take this with the queen, which they would much rather not do, because then, you know, you check here and you fuck them up. That's just how it goes. But if you didn't want to sack this bishop, then like it was already... I mean, I guess you just want to shore up the defense of your queen side. I would have been much more aggressive here, but let's just see what happens. Okay, and then the last piece of the puzzle. Hold on. So we did this move. We did common king, and then on 2. Oh, I missed. It was a cross board. This was the move. Okay, makes more sense. Marginally, I still think that it's worse than just defending from this board or whatever. But it's slightly more clear why. See, if you're exiling, okay, you want to be making the fewest number of tempo loss moves, right? Because like developing two pieces, because like here's the deal, you did all of this to defend this, etc., right? Like I think that as the exiling player, you want to avoid as many tempo losses as possible. I 100% of the time, 100 times out of 100 would have taken this knight here to threaten recapturing if captures here, which is just an option right now, which is pretty bad. But then You might think, okay, well, that means that I can't defend that square from here with the bishop or from here with the knight because I want to give a follow-up check if that happens. Well, you can always play your common king out here to defend that square, right? So it just seems not super worth it for me. I think common king here was more fine because they're too busy defending on, you know... Am I crazy? Because you're defended here with the... And then that's the only thing that's threatening. Yeah, I'm critical of the exiling player's moves here. I think that as Narik, you don't want to lose. You want to lose as few tempi as possible. And I think that that attack is much more. Maybe you didn't see the capture. I mean, no, he's a good player. He saw the capture. I just didn't think it was worth it. Let's see what his plan is. I don't want to be too critical without something to react to. Okay, kick the knight. Makes sense. A6 played. All right, so there is a check in 2D on the board. So what happens? We're on move 18. Defend queen boards, losing tempo on boards with no royalty is inconsequential. Well, I kind of disagree because those are the boards on that your win condition is on, right? Like you don't want to, you know, there's always this thing in like chess and other competitive games. You want to play to win, not play to not lose. You know what I mean? So like, I mean, as long as you're not in danger of losing, which like, I don't think that this is fantastically more secure than like the other move would have been because you can still defend against that. I think that it's much better to make this attack stronger and put pressure on this board, and keep this board safe rather than like double down, you know, because I think that pulling the common king back here was also safe. Honestly, that's just how I feel. So I'm just more critical of moves like this because you have to worry about, you know, you have to worry about like a lot of the point of this is that you're kind of defending by running your queens away and making your opponent's job difficult, but then putting the pressure on them by attacking yourself, right? Like the exiling strategy is only as good as the threats that it generates. I didn't do that because of undefended c7. No, I get that. I just don't see how wait, undefended c7 on this board, you mean? But this common king, if you hadn't moved it, was already defending c7 on that board. So that doesn't quite scan. Unless you meant c7 up here. Like if you're saying that what you didn't want was for this sack to happen. I get that. I'm skeptical. Both. Yeah, I mean, this knight was already doing a good job defending these pawns, right? So I wouldn't worry about that. Sorry, this common king, rather. Yeah, okay, there's an argument to be made. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. And cross timeline defense is flimsy. Not on a board where you don't have a queen. You know? You don't have a board. What do you mean? There's no, like, diversion checks that can happen on this board, right? So I disagree. As the exiling player, you have to utilize your, like, these are your gold boards where, you know, you do all your attacking and your defending, and you have all of the flexibility of multiple timelines. They can travel to it. So, let's see. In this situation, I don't see how white converts that disadvantage so hard. Like the benefits seem to outweigh the costs, but again, I don't know. So maybe in terms of like the takeaway is be slightly more critical of cross timeline moves like this that over defend. I mean, I guess from your perspective, you think no amount of analysis will be able to predict which one was a better move. I'm saying that's the move I would have made. Bishop taking knight was certainly strong though. Yeah. Yeah, bishop taking knight I think was super strong. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're gonna have to pick up the pace here. I don't want my analysis to suffer at all, but I mean we gotta get through this motherfucking game. Okay. What happens? Knight b5 c3. What are you smoking, my dude? What? Oh, maybe it's not on. No, what? T12? All right. What? I mean, it's kicked. But you don't go like bishop f4. You don't go like, you know. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you don't see the bishop idea, then all you have to do is retreat it, right? But after that happens, you just feel so bad. Like all of your threats are neutralized. Yeah, I guess if you don't see bishop f4, then it just seems so bad. Like, knight h, how have you improved your position since this board? Now you've got a knight on h3. That's not going to win the game. It's not going to win you the game, my dude. Okay. All right. H4 happens here. Okay. Sure. Why not? Defend the knight. Critical of this move too. I would have activated the bishop. This isn't going to get the job done. You also want to start thinking of cross timeline plays, right? Like these bishops, when there are a lot of boards, suddenly start to get really spooky. Actually, bishop f4 here travels down to f8 here, for what it's worth. You know, that combined with something like bishop over, well, you're in check here, but, you know, there's some cross timeline ideas. But they involve activating your bishops. Look at all these bishops. They're so sad. On c1, so much unrecognized potential. I want to play reverse royalty against Narik after seeing this. What a masochist. You guys should. I don't know if I'll review that one, but I'll watch it. Okay. What's happening here? Knight e2 goes to take c2. Yep. That's the obvious move. As we were saying. Okay. -3. Common king developed. Yep. That's what we said. And then, oh, I missed the move on. Oh, -2. Rook b1, b7. Makes sense. You pay a price. What can I say? For the attack, it's kind of spooky. I mean, it is what it is. That you gotta deal with that. You know, you open up your position to make the attacks happen. But the fact that this was allowed, I think, makes this, like, if you didn't see that you could have prevented this from happening, I probably wouldn't do that, because it's not like white's, you know. Again, it goes back to the patience thing, I guess. Like, I would have played more developing moves for that kind of attack to be for this kind of, like, an attack that not only are you like not only are you performing an attack that's preemptive. I'll just submit with channel points. Okay. I guess I can't say anything about that. Maybe I gotta nerf the game review redemption. I don't know. Or put a cap on the number of timelines. I don't know. Okay. Not only have you done like a premature attack that you don't have sufficient follow-up on, you have also wasted tempi that you could be using by doing a cross timeline move in order to make your attack more all right, catch you later, Andre, thanks for sticking around. In order to make your attack more potent, right? So I think it really does harken back to the whole patience thing. I mean, I know that like 5D tactic tunnel vision is a big thing. 1k each for extra timeline. Yeah, I like that one. that's a good policy. I'll consider it. So yeah, I mean, it was a little opportunistic. It wasn't like you could have timed this that well, but I don't know. I think the point stands. Because there's also some tricksy counterplay here. No, Rook here kind of defends pretty well. Let's see how Narik gets out of this. It's not like he's super far behind or anything. You know, he's still got some tricky. It's just that, you know, this board and this board look a lot less spooky than they would have in the situation where you force this royal queen out here, you know, and then suddenly this is like, this attack maybe even isn't quick enough to defend against. You know, you got some crazy stuff where that happens, and then you like pull your, you know, knight check here, and you prepare like a knight check here or something nuts. I don't know. Let's keep going. Okay. So now it's black star. Oh god, I'm getting so tired reading these moves. This is T12 -1. Knight C65. Yep. You get into that territory. Obvious move. Absolutely 100%. Okay, on L0, G7 D4. Okay. Tricksy. Now this is undefended, right? So you're attacking this pawn here, for sure. I feel. Did I say this was an obvious move? Well done. Did I read this right? I didn't realize that it was defended by 2 knights. So maybe I take that back. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Because this knight is defend. If this knight wasn't here defending this at the same time, then it would have been a lot scarier. Okay, hold on. Now pause. I have to consider why the hell this move happened. Knight C6. That's D4. Sorry. This is the obvious move. You are attacking this pawn and again attacking this pawn. Okay. Sorry, I just like lost my mind for a second. This is the move, and it is an obvious move. Brain fart. Sorry about that. Okay. 2L, Knight G8 F6. Yep. Close that die. Should have done that turns ago. 100% agree. And then Knight C6 E5. Yeah, man. Okay, so this is what happens. It's unfortunate that this Common King is over here instead of up here. This is why it's so important to develop your Common King early, by the way. I mean, it goes back to, I've harped on and on in these analyses about singly defended pawns being a massive liability. And this just goes to show, right? Granted, you can shore up the defense quite well with, like, you know, a Common King played up here or there. But, you know, if you'd already done that, then this opportunity wouldn't have arisen. So, yeah. Develop your Common Kings, folks. PSA for Reverse Royalty. May not seem like it does much now. Hank's knight in front of 2 enemy knights, obvious move. I know. Pretty 4-head. Maybe even 3-head. But hey, I'm analyzing this game and we're 7 hours into the stream, so my apologies. Let's see. Rook A8 C8. Yeah, there's an argument to be made for Rook B8, I think. But it's spooky. I agree. Yeah, this is the more solid move. Why not? This pawn's defended anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, solid. Defend that pawn. The minus 3L, bishop D4 to C5. Bishop D4 to C5. It's not like that bishop is threatened. Why not develop your knight here? Is it because you're attacking this knight up here? It is. Well spotted, right? Am I right about that? C5, C4, C3. No, you're off. Sorry, I had a brain fart. It's getting late, man. Although you do attack this C2 pawn up here, though. That's an interesting time travel. Probably would have developed the knight here instead of doing all that, right? Unclear. I would have developed the knight, but maybe there are some tic-tacs that I'm not seeing. Just because, you know, the longer that you can, the thing is, especially when you're trying to like exile and time travel and stuff, you want, like, if you can get pieces in the enemy's territory, even if they're not doing very much, if they're just sitting there and they're like unattacked, then you want to push pieces up so that when you add an extra piece onto that board from the future, suddenly it's like, oh shit, I'm like blowing up the enemy's, I'm like blowing up the opponent's position, right? So my instinct would have been to play knight f6 here, but you know, this is fine too. Maybe there's some tic-tacs that we'll see in a little bit. Okay. 0L. Okay, okay. Common King. Yep, E2 to defend this pawn. Solid. More importantly, probably to defend this pawn, right? Knight H3 to G5. Solid. Develop your pieces. I agree. H5 here. Why H5 before you develop your bishop? What is this? Why? What does this do? What? Takes? What's the point? Why? I don't know. I'm very critical of that attack, but hey, that's our game plan. That's what we're doing, so why not? Okay, knight b5, c3. Bruh. Is this knight under attack and I'm not aware? Why are we moving this back? You got so many knights. You know, you got like, do something up, move this up so that it defends this pawn or something. This knight isn't under attack, is it? I don't think so. Why are we wasting moves like this? Is it crucial? Is it a crucial defense? Is there like a... Maybe you want to block this bishop's path or something? But then you could just take it anyway. I don't know. Black might travel onto c2. Yeah, but the c2 travel was on... Let's do this. c5, 4, 3, 2 was here. Is that true? I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have played the Common King up here, by the way. I would have played the Common King here. Like, why not defend c2 here? Like, why defend it with this retreating move from one of your only assets that you have currently in the game, which is one of these... Like, after that play, let's count how many pieces, like, attacking pieces on his opponent's half of the board White has here, right? All right, we've got this knight and this knight, so that's not too bad. And we've got this bishop here and this rook. Okay, but like, what are those actually doing? You know, like, every single piece there is an asset, especially when you're attempting from these boards to attack these boards, right? Like, play Common King D2 here, man. So that you can defend this instead of like making this singly defend this square and then not... I was up on time most of the game. There was a timer. Yeah, I get that. Was there a timer? Was White in a rush? Well, timer, there's so much delay on the timer. Because there are like a billion boards here, but we're only like halfway into the game. So let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens from here. Anyway, yeah, you got to be critical of, like, when you're exiling or getting exiled on, you have to make maximal use of your Common Kings to buy yourself space to be proactive with your other pieces, right? That's just how it's gonna go. Like, this move hurts so much to do, and I think it's evident, not only because, by the way, you probably want to recapture, like, if this trade happens here, you probably want to recapture with this Common King anyway, so, like, defending this knight with something other than just a pawn is, like, a thing that I'd want to do anyway. But that's just me. Okay. Let's move a little faster so that we can finish this game before the 9-hour mark on stream. Okay. Knight. Sorry. Where am I? Okay. Knight b5, c3, -2, bishop e3, a7. All right, bishop e3, a7. Yep, you can do this if takes. Why not? Using your pieces actively. I'm all for it. And then here, h5. We really want to crack into this. We really want to crack into this. This queen, king side, eh? Interesting move. Not in love with it, to be honest. Probably would have done something like develop this knight to put pressure on this board where you're loading up all your pieces, right? It's not like this knight is pinned in any way. So yeah. Okay. Now, black response. Bishop d4. One turn in the past. Yep. Singly defended pawns. They're spooky. Nope. Not into the past. Up one timeline. Okay. The attack that we thought was going to happen. Yeah. Okay. This is what we thought was going to happen. I thought he'd do the knight takes move first, so that he could do something else on this board. Just because it kind of loses a tempo one turn later than you have to, but it doesn't really matter. But gets the job done. So obviously if takes, then takes is an issue. The only problem is that that this happens here. So I don't really know how to play around that. Tricky question. Let's see what happens on the other timelines. Bishop c5, e3. Yep. Yeah, no, I get it. Decent move. Then again, actually, because this recapture can happen immediately, this doesn't seem super... this knight was kind of pinned by this bishop in almost. I actually like knight f6 here. Again, it's more like developing these pieces so that when you make these threats and you want to travel back to boards where your opponent has a queen, you have more pieces developed, rather than pieces traded off the board like this. The defending player, this is one of the boards where you're attacking, right? You're attacking this board because it's one of the rare boards where white actually has a queen. Well, I mean, white has a queen in almost all of them, but it's a board where you don't have a queen. So that's a board where you're being offensive, right? And when you're on the offense, it isn't usually worth trading pieces because it allows your opponent to recapture, develop with tempo, and their pieces are already on their side of the board. And you've spent extra tempi pushing your pieces onto their side of the board just so they can get recaptured. So probably would have developed knight f6 here. But it is what it is. Knight g8 f6. Fantastic. My man. Developing his knights. Very good. g6. Takes h5. Why not recapture? I mean, after takes, you have takes. Just said it twice. Rook h8 f8. Good. Solid. This knight clearly defending the h7 pawn anyway, so you want to make it useful. You want to defend your position. Absolutely fantastic. This is a great way to do this. Okay. We're on to row 20 of the move list. Okay. Common king e2. Yep, recaptures with the common king. That's what you do. Rook h1, h5. Sure. But, okay. That's what happens. Is maybe there are rook h5 threats? Not that I see. Okay, this is what has happened. Knight g5, e6. Hey, Isaiah 0xa455. What a mouthful. Thank you so much for following, Isaiah. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. We're doing a ridiculous analysis of a viewer-submitted game here, so hope you enjoy the content. Thanks for supporting the channel. Appreciate it. Thank you. That's a little spooky. I'm going to be honest. I didn't see that. I mean, you can recapture with this common king. But does it weaken the structure? Not really, because white doesn't have other pieces developed, right? Who the fuck cares? You can just recapture with the common king. I guess it prevents you from recapturing here immediately, but all white did was trade pawns. So I disagree. As white, I'm not worried about that. Hello, Isaiah. Let's keep going. Okay. And then, okay, knight g5, e6, minus 3L. We've got, right, common king recaptures. And then here we've got rook b7, c7. What? Trading a rook for a pawn? It's recaptures with common king. Is he distracting the common king? Could even recaptures with this here, because this knight defends the bishop. Common king recaptures? Why would you do this? Have I read the move right? Yeah, rook b7, c7. All right, this is what happened. Okay, here we go. Knight g8, f6. Fantastic. I thought this was going to happen last turn, but it didn't. But it's all good. Minus 1L. C5 has been played. Interesting move. Huh. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Here, you're not playing for, like, captures or anything. You're just going to kick this to open up the diagonal, right? So, solid game plan. Couldn't have done it better myself, probably. Yeah. No, that's solid. Absolutely solid. So what is this match? So this is a match that was played in the 5D League Cup, which is played in the Reverse Royalty variant. This is being played against Narik and Mage, and Narik redeemed the channel point reward for me to analyze a game of his choosing. He's a bit of a troll, so this is like a game that blows up to like 17 timelines and like 39 turns. So he's done this to torture me because it involves a strategy that I really despise and is incredibly arduous and tedious, which is the Exiled Queen strategy. So we're commenting on the match, trying to see what's what, evaluating the position, etc. And Narik's very pleased with himself. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. C5 has happened here. On 0L, C5 has also happened. Interesting. Wonder why. I would have taken squares away from the knight. You can't really push up. Well, maybe that is the idea. Maybe you want to like. Maybe that is the idea. You want to pro. I guess there are no defenders left of the D pawn on this board. So, yeah, okay. No, that's fair enough. I agree. Okay. It sounds like an actual nightmare. Yeah, no, it really is. But not going to end the stream before we get through this, and we're only halfway through the game. So, you know, it is what it is. Okay, turn 1. Common king, d7. I just unhighlighted the move. I was keeping track. Why have I done this? Hold on. It was this, right? Yeah, it was where the c7, c5. Okay. I refound my place in the move list. Okay, common king d7 plus 1L takes yeah. Recaptures here. I wonder if these moves are being made because these players don't see that this is like an option. Oh, minus 2L, by the way. I missed this, but he takes with the rook. Why not with the common king? Just seems spooky because, I don't know, there's like a travel now onto like this board here with the bishop. I mean, maybe it's not a big deal, but isn't that spooky? Well, I guess you're going to retake it next turn anyway. So, like, there isn't another threat that can be generated. So, all right, there's an argument to be made. I could see it. That's fair. Probably to attack the bishop. Yeah, No, it makes sense. Yeah, it just feels like, you know, when your priority is 100% queen safety, you're already attacking the bishop by capturing with the common king, so, but maybe it's fine. I mean, the thing is that he doesn't have any pieces developed with which he can recapture, so we're probably splitting hairs here, but makes sense. Okay, let's see. -1 out, knight c3, b5. Wow, this knight goes back, comes forward. I mean, I think that it should have been here anyway. Yeah, now suddenly there's a... Well, okay, let's see what he does on this board. On 1L, knight g5. Knight g5 goes back. Okay, we have a branch. On to turn on 14, e5. That doesn't seem great. Does it? Takes. This square is defended. Takes. All right, this has happened and it's activated the new timeline over here. So that's all right. Okay. So just a quick review of the game up to this point. Yep, there we go. Okay. Now it's black's turn to play. Take c4. Makes a lot of sense. Oh, wow. They're a single move. Oh, God. This is a blessing. Okay. Nope. Sorry. That's the wrong move. c4. If takes, then you have this check, which doesn't actually check on that turn, does it? Am I crazy? Was that move made just to reactivate the -4L board? There were better moves to make to reactivate the -4L board, so I'm a little doubtful. It's not like they had anything to defend against that was too crazy. So I don't know. I'd be surprised if that were the case. Okay, knight e5, c4. Yeah, if takes, then takes here. But that's not check that turn, so it doesn't require the queen to recapture, does it? What other move do you have, though? Yeah, because you can't block here. And then next turn it's going to be... Yeah, okay. I get it. I guess there isn't a fantastic response here. Well, let's just see what happens. Sort of feels like I'm spamming, but does it check the queen in another timeline? The answer is no, because d3 is covered. Or sorry, e3 is covered. So this pawn here will block all of the queens up there, but good instinct to ask that question, Isaiah. But nah, it totally don't. Yeah, it's blocked by the pawn in the next timeline. Exactly, yeah. Okay. Where are we at now? All right. Line 22. Okay. Knight d4, e6. Check. That doesn't seem great. I mean, it's undefended. So what else are you going to do, right? You can't take here. You'd rather sack into it. But I mean, what would you rather do? Okay. Let's actually think about this critically. What would you rather do? I mean, knight out here to defend this knight, right? That does run you into this, it does run you into this really annoying capture here. But I guess if you delay that happening, like if you do this next turn, well, no, now you're not defending this at all. Common king up, question mark? Common king up, takes, doubly defended. Push the pawn up, honestly. Then take still happens. Maybe inevitable. Let's keep going. Let's see how it plays out. Knight d4, e6 check. Common king d7, e6. Rook a1, b1. Prevents this from happening. Solid. Okay, so what he wanted to do is not get uncompensated for this knight. So instead of playing b1 initially, he did this. I thought that maybe the idea was to delay the capture of this pawn. Because he could have done literally anything else here, and if the rook takes on this turn, then the pawn recaptures, so you don't have to worry about that. What are those numbers? There's chat redeemed some channel point incentives earlier that banned me from saying words. Basically, the number of times I say a certain banned word, I have to do a certain exercise, and the number of times I say the name of that exercise, I have to gift subs. So that's what's going on. Okay. Rook a1, b1. Fantastic. Knight g8, f6. Can't really argue with that. All right. Knight b5. Okay. Now we catch up to the present. Almost. Not quite. Black has 2 moves to make here. Common king back to d7. I mean, you want to defend the pawn that's being attacked, so this makes sense. Is there an attack that can materialize better? No, I mean, you have to defend this, right? There's no way around that. I was thinking like sack this knight might be a thing soon. Oh, the common king here defends that knight actually, so it's not a big deal. That's interesting. Okay. It is what it is. Up here, we have d takes e5, which I think you can do with impunity. So, we're back up to the present. Another travel happens. On -2L this time. Bishop a7 goes to a8. I alluded to this. I don't think it's good right now. Is it? Maybe it looks spooky. There are just so many pieces defending. Not to mention there are pieces from the other board, right? All right, well, whatever. This has happened. Okay. Now on +4L, rook c8 takes a8, which you can do. That bishop was not defended. Now I fail to see what your game plan is, because you can't really attack this with this. Here takes or takes, like, because you can't do here takes because there's takes. I just said the words so many times. Okay, disagree. I don't see how this attack pans out, but whatever. All right, now we're getting to the monstrously long turns. Okay, but to some extent these turns kind of play themselves out. Whoa, bishop a7 e3. What? And then bishop c1 e3. Bro, why didn't you activate this piece like 8 years ago? E3. That was your plan? I guess that's what I'm confused about, right? Like, obviously the bishop can't go to any of these squares because they're covered. But what was your plan? What did you want from this? Like, you don't have, the problem is that you don't have adjacent pieces. Like I said earlier, all of White's pieces are on their half of the board on all of these timelines. So it would maybe be cool to like give yourself a board to travel to aggressively, right? But you can't do that. Can't do that because you don't have any pieces on the adjacent boards. So it doesn't seem fantastic. Okay. Common King E2. Common King E1, E2. All right, we're going E2 again instead of D2, but sure, whatever. Even though it seems like C2 and C3 could both use defending. Okay. Knight C3, B5. All right. Okay. Our knights are on B5. That's where we like them. Probably have to be worried about some sort of like cross timeline bishop sack or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Let's get the rest of the moves on the board. A4. Sure. Honestly, I like kicking this knight better. What is A4 really doing? Like, what, it's defending this knight? So? Doesn't seem good. I like so many moves better in this position. I like kicking the knight. I probably like either King E2 or D2. But this is what has happened. And then finally, we have takes the G pawn. Makes sense. Okay, Kent takes back. That's an issue. Yeah, it really is actually. I have to be worried. Okay. Okay, let's start. Rook A8, C8, I agree. You want to took the piece, go right back. Common King D7, D6. All right. Give this pawn an extra defender. Maybe you see that as a weakness. Interesting. Maybe the idea is that you want to get this Common King over here. I don't know. I might have kicked this. That's probably a bad move. We'll reserve judgment. That was to block open lines to queen. Ah. Okay. Okay. Wait, which open lines to queen? What? Block open lines to queen? What? Which move blocks open lines to queen? This move? Oh! Well done. Well done, Narik. Okay. Open lines to queen. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. All right. All right. Okay. 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 Good stuff. Good stuff. Excellent. Yes. 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 I didn't really. Yeah. I hadn't internalized that that the D6 pawn was missing on this board. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay. This guy knows. This guy 5Ds. Okay. Okay. 1L. Why don't you play on these boards in order? God damn it. All right. We said this was happening. Knight C6. What? Oh, up here. Knight C6, D4. Okay. -1, C5, C4. Yep. Run it down. Try to open up the diagonal. Excellent. Flawless. 0, Knight G8, F6. Yep. Activate that knight. Wow, this board's looking real barren all of a sudden. I definitely thought you would have pushed this, by the way. That was a little surprising. But I think that both are solid. I just thought, you did that last turn. Why not do this last turn? But I think both are fine. Minus 4L. Yep. Kick the knight. Minus 3L. Recapture. If takes, takes. And then e6, e5. e6, e5. e6, e5. Yeah. Okay. Essentially giving this knight an outpost, right? I think that's solid. I think these are fantastic. I really like this move. It really like asks a question of this rook. Because if it doesn't, you know, you have to really be terrified of these situations. I mean, if captures, probably you're gonna have to recapture from another board, which you might have trouble finding the time to do. All right, line 27 of the document. Okay, -3, rook 8. Okay, he just capped. He doesn't give a fuck. He's gonna let this. That seems super sketchy. Hold up. Well, only because, like, you probably want to, well, you take on your own terms and then you repopulate there with a rook. No, because then captures and then that's an issue. Does it matter? Does it matter if you take proactively? Probably. You probably want to do something else in the meantime. I mean, it's pretty spooky to scoot the queen up, but it is difficult to attack a common. Wow, there are interesting travels here. I don't know. I usually don't like. You could even move this rook over if you wanted to be safe, right? I don't know if taking. Well, let's see how the situation develops. 3/4 of the way there. Oh, jeez. Woo. Okay. Great. Okay, probably there's time pressure though, and under time pressure you probably blitz out that move. So fair enough. Okay, kick the knight. That's what should have happened last turn, but you know, no judgment. I mean, my job here is kind of to judge the moves, but 92 c3 on -2L. Sure, why not? This pawn is a weakness. You want to develop your pieces anyway. I'm down. Knight b5 captures b7 down here. That's solid. That looks pretty scary. Yeah, good move. Well done. Only issue is, I guess if takes, you don't have to worry. But you need to generate your own threats as white, right? You can't take this sitting down. Yeah, no, I think that's a good move. I think that's super spooky. This is how, you know, like the way you fight back is that one of the ways that you fight back is that obviously the exiling player has to generate threats and kind of overextend on the boards where they don't have many pieces, right? And so that just gives you kind of free reign to populate that board with your pieces. Makes sense. On 2L, the c1 bishop goes to e3. Solid. Kick the knight, activate the bishop. 100%. I'm with you. Can't really go f4 or anything here because there will be a Fossilino discovered attack on the f file. That's no bueno. Bishop e3 goes to a7. Yep, that's why you played that move basically. Solid pickup, also super scary. Like it's starting to get scary, you know, on like these boards where there are kind of pieces on the queen side. So that looks pretty good to me. Generate some threats. On 4L, you have 92 c3. Yep, same as the very similar to this 92 c3 move. You activate your pieces, especially on it because you're trying to generate an attack, right? Like the home of this knight is obviously on b5, so that's solid. I wonder how black deals with this actually. Well, let's finish out the turn. And then here the c1 bishop goes to d2. Why? Probably because you're low on time and you want to take it off its home square, to be honest. I don't know. You're activating the bishop. There's not too much to read into there. You don't think you should have addressed the hanging king? Let's see. Which hanging king? Let's see. You mean this king? Are you trying to tell me that... no, because this bishop doesn't see that king. Hanging king? Do you mean this king? Which pieces see that king? Do any pieces see that king? Can any pieces see that king soon? Which king are we talking about? You won't miss it? Is it this king? Because that's spooky. I agree with you. But you can recapture with the knight here? No? Well, after captures here... Yeah, no, because that you can recapture too. Right? It's defended by this knight. So, takes, then this knight takes. Like, on this turn, it's not a big deal, is my point. Is it? It's a weakness for sure. You're trying to collapse... Look at that. No, like 100%. But there aren't other pieces that coordinate here, right? I don't know. Certainly it's a weakness. I think like one of your only opportunities to generate counterplay here is really compelling. Yeah, there's an argument to be made that pushing the common king up here was better. But this turn, this rook is going to take here, which is cool. And then if you capture up there, then nothing is really going to prevent this rook from recapturing if like a check is made here. Let's just keep going. I mean, if that maybe that's foreshadowing that that's how this game ends. I don't know. But let's see. -1L. C4 takes D3. Immediately happens. I wonder if he recaptures with this knight or not. We'll find out in a bit. Knight H5, F4 here. Yep, that looks spooky. Although it is hanging. Less spooky than I thought. Let's make sure that that's the move. On +1L. Knight H5, F4. Yeah, no, this is definitely the move. Do I see a reason why? It is defended by this knight, but this knight's probably going to move, yeah. All right. Well, this has happened, so let's see how it fits into the grand plan here. Yeah, it doesn't threaten a capture here. It's kind of weird, no? Like, it's just capturable on the board? Am I taking crazy pills? Okay, -4, knight c4, takes c3 here. Ah, that's a good one. That's a nice one. I didn't see that. I didn't see that at the time. Right here. Suddenly, it is not so possible. Probably still can. It's getting really spooky up here. It's getting really spooky up here. That's for goddamn sure. All right. Now you can start getting really afraid. Rook A8 H8. That's easy. On 0, Rook A8 B8. Yep, you line up. You skewer this knight onto that knight, or pin this knight to that, whatever you like. Well, one of these knights is probably going down, right? That's bad news. Bad news bears. Okay, 2 Rook A8 A7. Defend that pawn from these knights, etc. And from this bishop. Yep. Not to mention you didn't, yeah, like bishop takes here, we pointed out earlier, was scary, so it's not something you want to deal with. No, knight takes here's the thing, or bishop takes knight here's the thing. But addressing that threat is probably better than, because that really looks scary, and that's a slippery slope with, especially with like these knights hanging out down here, sharking the back line. Average, whatever just walked in on. Narik submitted a game for review. It was an Exiled Queens game. He redeemed with his channel points. I have no option but to honor my end of the deal. Okay. Yeah, no. Oh, it was A7. I almost messed up. Rook A8 A7. Okay, so you're on the offensive, right? I thought, you wanted that rook to defend that rook, but I guess actually this rook defends that rook anyway. So here you simultaneously defend this pawn with this rook, but also attack the bishop. So I'm down. No, that makes sense. And then if captures, sure, why not? Yeah, rook A8 A7. And then rook B8 C8. Okay, get your rook out of harm's way. Is part of me surprised? Well, it's just more secure there. No, that's fair. Thinking A8, chase the bishop away. But you're already chasing the bishop away with this rook, so this one can just defend. Right? And then here... E5. Outpost for the knight. What else would do E5 here? I guess how else do you deal with this? Do you deal with this threat? There's not really that much more you can do to your structure. Man, this make me miss 5D chess. That's surprising. This in particular is not the motivating force in my pursuit of 5D chess excellence, but to each his own. All right, line 28 of the move list. Okay, -1, knight f2 d3. There's a check here, but that's a 2D check, so. Okay, he recaptures here instead of with this knight. See, the viewers like it. Get the fuck out of here, man. Knight b7 d6. He recaptures. I mean, you're losing one of them anyway, right? If captures, captures. And that's actually really annoying because it checks this queen here. So we'll see how they deal with it. All of these moves before you travel are really interesting and probably unnecessary, but I guess that's indicative of a time scramble. Here on 2L, we have bishop e3 d4. Makes total sense. On 1L, we have bishop d2 f4. Yep, capture the hanging knight. Still not positive why. Maybe that was a mistake in time pressure. It's hard to say. Not the specifically, obviously. I agree that it's obvious. Just haven't played 5D in months at least. We'll get on the Discord, man. Should do more Exiled content. Jeez. Yeah, get on the Discord. Hop into some games. The community's grown since you played last, especially if you haven't played in months. It's really good stuff. Hop back into it. We're always welcoming. You know how our community is. Oh, here. What? -3 turn 16 C1? Wow. Did not expect a counter exile? But why? Why counter exile? I mean, I guess you're in trouble otherwise. What else are you going to do with this queen? Especially under time pressure, this seems much safer. And here's the counter exiling. Well, yep. Narik told us this would happen. All right. C1 here. Now, on 5L. You guys remember when I said this board looks safer? I didn't realize that this is I thought that this was the one above where this rook is hanging. Why the fuck? Bro, you just like... It's a royal queen skewer. Like, what are you doing? That's not good. That's not what you want. Big yikes. Yeah, this, if you like, you have, like, you're in the wrong neighborhood. This is the definition of that. You just stepped in the wrong neighborhood. Yeah, no, that's I can't imagine that was better than just dealing with it on the board. Or maybe moving up to the board above, right? Who the fuck? Yeah, C1 here is much better. Or here, rather. Well, okay, I say that, but actually I don't really agree with what I just said myself. Because you've got all of this collapsing onto the... But still, this looks terrifying, right? Well, I mean, I guess if you don't have very many options. If you're under time pressure, maybe. Where else could that queen have traveled? Could have traveled here to B1 up here, right? Could have traveled, actually, could have traveled, I mean, because in the game you highlight and you see what moves are available to you, right? Could have traveled to B1 on this board. Look, wait, why would you not travel to B1 on this board? Black doesn't have any pieces. Why not go to save, what? The refuge. Could have been really low on the clock, I guess so. Been on the Discord since I first played. I just never talked to him because I have social anxiety. Oh man. Well, we're a pretty friendly bunch. You know, in general, I think it's a reasonably safe space. Or at least we try to make it that way. So, I mean, suit yourself. I just wanted to let you know that, you know, you have those resources available. But if you're already on the Discord, then that's that. A few hours. This has been going on for a few hours. Could have been really low on the clock. Must have been. But you highlight the piece. As Semet yells at Narikan Mage. That's an exception, okay? This is what they're paying for. Their channel points, at least. All right. You highlight the Royal Queen and you say, let me look at all these boards. You don't then go to the board where you just... Like, come on, man. He yells of love. Narik's not wrong. I do. It's true. Because, like, next turn, you're gonna... This rook is gonna come in here. It's not doing anything on this board anyway, right? Like, bruh. Come on. I mean, it must be a time scramble. What other possible explanation is there? Whatever. Okay, this happens. All right. Row 29. Okay. He recaptures here with this rook. I think this is basically the only way forward. I mean, you're gonna get like jumped on here by this other rook, but you know, we take this game one turn at a time. It's not a big deal. This is okay. Calmly proceeds yelling. Seems pretty friendly here. I just have to work up the nerve to say hello on the server. Yeah, it's pretty friendly there too. You know, you're not playing this game if you're not like a big nerd who's just really passionate about the game. You know what I mean? So we got all the people who are just in it for the love of the game. So it's a pretty tight knit, pretty chill community from that perspective. How many rows are there? Let's see, 37. Wow, we're getting close. We are getting close. All right. On that note, let's not lose steam here. Common. Yeah. E3 here is a much better position for it. I mean, honestly, I really enjoyed D2 for this guy, but this is the board on which we're threatening all of this stuff, right? Why would you make this move if it enables this to happen? He probably didn't see this, but then why did you think he moved this here? Like it was... Okay, this game is now spaghetti. Like at my beautiful tripled pawns, it is a sight to behold. The Tower of Power, classic tripled pawns. It's like Connect 4. Everyone knows that win condition in 5D chess, all you need is the one more pawn, and actually you win the game immediately. So that's the alternate win condition there that we're working on. Okay, fantastic. If I remember, I spent most of my time dealing with the first three travels, thinking I had something, then spent the rest of the time regret of not duplicating the double queen board, I'm sure you meant to say. The time increment just wasn't enough for me to come up with a game plan, but was enough to move pieces. Actually really holding the center there. I mean, they kind of are, unironically, which is just so ridiculous. But that's why you flank, right? Mage, if you want to go back and watch the... if you want to go back and watch, I found a forced mate for you earlier. So, you know, you could have done that. But I'm not going to go back now. Oh, really? Yarly. I didn't know Eric Rosen played 5D chess. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Eric Rosen's Connect 4. Aren't all the pawns considered stacked along the L axis? Get out, lawnmower. The only axis that matters is the one that marches into your opponent's territory. Everyone knows this. Kind of, if you got the travel off, but it was stoppable. Stoppable is a strong word. I think that it was very difficult to stop because you could check other pieces from intervening on the other board. So I don't know if that's true, but maybe. Okay, we won't call it forced mate. That's, you know, because I can't back that up. But I had some cool ideas for you back there that I think would have been really good. Well, actually, I might go back and watch that if you really care, because I think that, like, you were looking for counterplay that I think that my preferred way for you to generate counterplay would have been to duplicate the double queen boards. But in lieu of doing that, I think that you started down a counterplay path that you didn't actually then commit to. So actually, it's really instructive besides just that one tactic. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going. What happened here? Where am I? Is this real life? Okay, 3L, Common King F2 E3. Okay, and then we go down to minus 3L. Common King E3 F2. Okay, I get it. You want to run your king over to defend the rook, which you'll probably pull over from the board underneath. Sure, yeah, you want to get your common king here so that you can get the rook out. Makes sense. I feel you. Wow, this is really emptying here on this board. Okay. And then knight b5 c3. These poor knights just jump back and forth between b5 and c3. All right. Yeah, no. Kick the knight. You know, here you can afford to like go pawn grubbing or whatever. I get that. So sure, why not? Okay, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 boards. Okay. -1. Yep. Grab this. Absolutely. You know. Looks like trouble. That's what you do. That's all. This has been the game plan on this board for actually quite a while, so makes sense. Nothing to comment on there. Knight f6, e4. Interesting. I thought about doing this a while back, actually. Let me make sure. It's weird that you do that now, especially when you can grab this bishop. Like, I would have thought that, you know what? This is what's happened. Am I right about that? Hold on, hold on. I must be wrong. No? Knight f6, e4. All right. And then takes here? Maybe you want to open this up and then move this knight up here. You know, like exchange, like your knight's doing more on this board anyway. This is the one that you want to load your pieces onto. I could understand that. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, you're blasting up with the pawn structure. I mean, it seems a heavy price to pay for that is my problem. Like, why not either capture this bishop here, which is free, by the way, or push this pawn, which also blows up the structure, right? You know, probably have a reason for that. Okay, okay. Let me think. Let me think. Well, let's see. There's also a really dangerous Fossilino here, by the way, that black has to worry about. Or that white has to worry about. Look 2 up? Okay, okay. What am I looking at? I take it back. I said all like I knew what I was talking about. 2 boards up. What are you talking about? You're gonna have to spell this out for me. Knight moves? On bottom? From white. Yes. Oh, okay. All you're saying is that you didn't want the like if this knight is forced to recapture, which it looks like it is. You're saying that you can afford to do this because it doesn't recaptures because this has to recapture here. I lost track of the relative position of the boards, to be honest with you, because when we were looking at this board, I thought, oh well, this knight recaptures from down here, but then we looked at this board, and it suddenly started to make sense, right? That's the problem with jumping all over the board. Yikes, this is getting to look pretty scary. Like, yeah, okay. All right, that's fair. You win this time, Narik. So then what? You probably pick up this common king, right? And you do it with check. Can you pick that up? No, the common king is defended by this common king. Whatever. You can afford to do this is the main point. I don't know what the follow-up is, but you can. You can afford to do that. I guess I was looking for a more cogent game plan for black. Unless there's a travel here that I'm not like realizing. Like, yeah, this common king is defended by this common king. This isn't really good. This isn't really good. So I don't know. I mean, okay, we understand why he did this. I'm not positive that this is better than almost anything else. But fair enough. We're just going to go with it. We're just going to go with it. Planning makes flag. I do threats and sync later. All right, all right, all right. From the perspective of time pressure, I can't really argue with that. So, well spotted. Well spotted. We're gonna roll with it. And then knight f64 here too. That one I get less. What? All right. You're under time pressure. You make threats. You're about to flag. I get it. Okay, that's fair. Knight c3 b1. That's annoying. Holy fuck. Okay, that's fucked up. Wow. Okay, he did the same thing 2 boards down. This recapture is like mandatory for white to survive, and so you can just do this. That's pretty crazy. I mean, you get the Discoverino here anyway, but wow, same thing, 2 turns. Okay, instead of looking at this makes a lot of sense. This is why I wanted to put more moves on the board and then look at the moves. But now I'm looking at the moves on each board, and like that's a problem. So really, it's a problem. Like I was trying to not rush by spending time on each board, so that I'm not schemazing Narik out of analysis. But actually, just doing the moves first is better for the analysis anyway. So on that note, let's keep going. E7 d6. Yep, he recaptures here. Recaptures here is annoying. And also probably checks. Yeah, this queen. So you got to worry about that. I don't know. Maybe a common king move happens here. Let's see. What is this? Plus 2L, knight f6 d7. Yeah. Solid. That does defend. Okay. So that defends the square that we saw a little bit earlier. This is why putting in the moves first is actually good. Okay, 4L, knight f6 e8. Sure. Yeah, just defending the squares around your queen when you're under time pressure. I agree with that. The only problem with that I see is, this is like an opportunity. Okay, so I guess you're banking on, you have to pick your battles, right? This looks to me like it's incredibly weak. Like I would have for sure thought that the rook comes up here to put pressure on this rook, but whatever. Whatever, under time pressure, I think that this move works in a pinch. Probably this rook up was actually better, but who knows? 5L, okay, you try to blast open the C file again. Makes sense. Similar to what we saw on the other boards earlier. Here we have rook h8 f8. Yep. Similar to the rook h8 f8 that we saw on the other board earlier. Yeah, we get a lot of deja vu when there are so many timelines. And then knight e5 f7. Sure. Get your knight out of harm's way, get more defenders. Yeah, I mean, the other thing is when you've got something that looks like a lethal attack on one of the boards, then what you do is attempt to secure your position on the other boards, right? I mean, if takes here recaptures is actually not an option, so, you don't really want to give the bishop that square. So that looks fine. Well, we're slowing down now in terms of the turns getting submitted. Zia says, I don't know how to introduce myself on the server after lurking for almost a year. You can just hop in. You don't have to, if you like build it up as a big thing where you're like formally introducing yourself, you know what I mean? You don't have to, then it's going to feel like a bigger thing, You can always be like, hey, anyone down for some games, or just like join some conversations that are going on, you know what I mean? First introduce myself, playing a game with someone and joining a voice chat to discuss with the game. That's a really good one. Yeah, folks hop in and out of voice chat all the time. You can even lurk in some of the voice chats when there are a lot of people hanging around. I jump in and just lurk, and then if I have something to say or if I want to ask for a game, then I'll like see what the people are like, get comfortable, and then hop in with like commentary or invite or whatever, I just said, anyone want to play a match? There you go. Oftentimes just joining any voice call and playing some games or watching games is always good. Yeah. I know a lot of people who just sort of lurk, on mute in some of the voice chats when there are, people like discussing games. That's a good way too. Or just asking if people are down for a game, you know? Whatever makes you comfortable. My point is that you don't have to be so worried about, you know, like the more you build it up in general, at least like social anxiety. I can just speak from my perspective of like, you know, I get a little bit of anxiety. It happens. I mean, as a streamer, maybe it sounds weird. But, you know, IRL, there are plenty of social situations where I have that anxiety. So usually one of the keys is to not build it up so much in your head, you know, and just sort of take as tame a step as you can forward. Easier said than done, I know, but still. Playing a game sounds like a good idea, but I'm not near a PC right now. Whenever you get there. The Discord's not going anywhere. Before you know it, you end up playing 6D House with a bunch of crazy 5D chess people. Yeah, exactly. One thing leads to another, and then you're like, yeah, you're into some deep shit. Okay. Very, very well said. All right. Line 30. Oh, okay. Line 30. What's the last move that I played? Hold on. Am I on the right turn? One. Okay. 1L. Yeah. F7. Okay. Okay. We're past the 8-hour mark, which is just fantastic. Okay. We're coming to a close here, I hope. -4L. Rook B1. Yeah. Recaptures this knight here. Basically only move. 100%. Yeah. Knight C3 here. Recaptures knight D3 here. Basically only move. Fantastic. On 0L, we have knight B5 D6. Yep. Checks this up here. That's actually a massive pain in the ass. Yeah. Plus 2L. I mean, these moves are no-brainers under time pressure. Knight C3 D5. Ooh. Really? By the way, kind of nuts that Narik set up this capture of this bishop and then didn't capture the bishop. Is there a reason for that? Because the rook from up here still covers... I don't, now you're... This is hanging. Why has any of this happened? Knight C3 D5 when there's a rook hanging? Bruh, okay, this was spaghetti. Look at this. You take the rook. Like, what? You just do. Like, it's so scary here. And then next turn you do this, and then you, like, mate the king, you know? The queen. Stick around long enough, and you end up in some crazy event ranks. Honestly, does it seem weird for a streamer to have social anxiety? Well, there you go. I can see myself being a streamer given the right circumstances. Word. Yep, for a custom match. Bruh, okay, hold on. Mage, what do you have to say for yourself? Like, this isn't what you did. You did this. Please explain. Anyway, it's probably just time pressure. Which, I mean, I'm a fellow flagger. I understand. This happens all the time. All right, D5 here. Yep. Put pressure on the square. Why not? I mean, yeah. You're under time pressure. You develop your pieces. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Can't really criticize. Knight C3 B5. Yep. Honestly, here, that seems sketch. I take back all of my yeps. Maybe at least 2 of them. Well, it's hard to say. Because Narik didn't actually jump at the opportunity to fuck shit up over here. So yeah, you probably push the advantage. I mean, it gets so momentum based too. It's so, like, you focus your moves so much on intuition. But I mean, not taking that rook there is gotta be, like, massive blunder. But under time pressure, again, it happens. Where the fuck are we? Plus 3L? No, okay. Plus 4L, plus 5L. Okay. Rook H1, H5? Yeah, okay. Captures here. Again, why? Rook not worth pawn, question mark? He did this on another board too. Didn't he? Am I crazy? Am I taking crazy pills? I don't know, but this happened here. What is this? Plus 3L? And then finally, A4. Why not? Yeah, you could tell, because that's the last move that you play in the turn, right? So you're like, I don't know, what do I do? And then you do that. I mean, probably here you close up. You play Common King G1, but okay. We start with minus 4L, where the action is. 94 C3, 100%, 100%. Super, super obvious. 94 F2. The Common King here defends, but you're in check. So, actually not an option. Tricks. Okay, things are getting spooky here for white. Okay, very, very, very well done. Very well done. Especially under time pressure. I guess if you're into exiling as like a strategy, then you have to be really used to blitzing up moves to flag your opponent, right? So great. D4, kind of sketch, allowing this. Oh, it's defended from up here. No, but this is check. Well, yeah, but it doesn't. Let's see what happens. Let's put all the moves on the board. Thinking 2 per take. We're doing Fibonacci, let me remind you. I knew what I was doing when I said we were doing Fibonacci. Knight F6 here captures D6. That's not as big a deal as I thought. Now, if he gets to 54, it's still 40. If it's 5 per sequence. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Okay. 2L. C65. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a trade that you take any day of the week. And then here, I still don't understand why you would trade the rook for the pawn, but whatever. Isn't Fibonacci approximately log of base golden ratio? It's approximately exponential base golden ratio. Right? Because each time it's approximately doubling, you know, like almost, but it's not. So you can think about it as exponential that way. It's definitely exponential. It's not log. Because it almost, you know, you get it. Because yeah. Okay. I keep losing track. Oh yeah, no, the number of times I have to say the thing to get the exercise is log. That's why I chose Fibonacci. Fibonacci was suggested. So yeah. I need to stop losing my place in this stupid fucking document so I can put in all the fucking moves. Whose turn is it? It's Black's. Guys, this has been such a nightmare. I'm going to be doing this in my sleep. I guarantee you. Okay, comment right D5. Okay, 3, knight F6, H5. Already did that, right? It recaptures, super obvious. And then 5, common king D7 takes, goes to D6 here. Interesting. It goes to E6 here from D7 here. He just doesn't give a fuck. But fair enough. Funny thing is, I have a 100-turn match. We'll deal with it next stream. I cannot do that right now. I can't worry about that right now. Okay, D7, I enjoy. Bruh. You know what? I can't be mad. You're winning on the other boards, so why give a fuck, right? Okay, these are actually dangerous 2D checks. Let's see how white deals with it. We're on line 31 of the document. We're on line 31 of the document. 2L19, bishop d4. Goes to 0L19. Takes d6. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good spot. I would have done that in the opposite order if possible, by the way. I don't know if it was possible. But because the knight here obviously is more trouble. But, you know, we're splitting hairs here. On 1L, bishop f4, d6. Sure. Wait, it doesn't check anything. Maybe he thought it checked something. Oh, he didn't want this to take it, and so okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's fine. Knight b5 c7. Yep, that delivers check here. But he probably, maybe he wasn't even thinking about that. I don't know. If he delivers, he can deliver check on this board actually. So that would be pretty 5-head. But the problem is he can't deliver check on this board. So that's trouble. Actually, that's like almost smothered mate. In a crazy way. Yeah. Like knight here, if he could check on this board, which he can't, but okay, whatever. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Knight d5 c3. Guys, the knight goes back to c3 here. Why? God, I'm gonna die. Oh my god. What? Okay, this is what happens. This is what happens. This is what happens on this board. We have to just get through this, put in the rest of the moves. D4, D4. Why D4? What are you doing? What is D4? What? What? Keep in mind, this exists still, by the way. Guys, I'm losing my shit. We have to get through this game. We have to get through this game. Oh my god, okay. I'm not okay. -1L. Why am I reviewing this? D2? I like D2. Hey, sensible. Very V sensible. V nice. E1, E2? What? What? What a move this is. Oh my god. I think he's having a mental breakdown. Guys. Why? Just look at the, like, it's because I'm in the context of, I've made dumber moves in the context of flagging, right? It is 80 degrees in this room because I haven't turned on the AC. Common King takes across timelines. Right or wrong, don't tell me, I know, all right? That's not the point. The point is that this is bad, given the... You don't have the context of all of the other moves in this game, okay? It's not a good move. I promise it's not a good move. These boards, you can't. Because the problem, like, the Common King takes doesn't matter is the issue, because these are the boards that need defending, right? And you're trying to defend them here by doing this, but you've done it into, like you want to do it in a way that doesn't immediately allow black to take on this next turn the piece that is defending your queens on these two boards down here, right? Like in this case, you want to defend, like here, it's so much better to play Common King F2. I just came back. Figures. I'm sorry if I'm aggressive. Guys, we're here in this game that I'm analyzing, right? I apologize if I'm losing my mind and if I'm being rude, uncouth, out of pocket. My sincere apologies. you're gonna have to just understand here that we're 8.5 hours into stream, and I am stuck in this hell. This is a fresh personal hell. It's not even fresh. I've been at it for hours, but this is okay. We just need to get through the rest of this game. Like, what? Okay, what do you do on these next boards? That's the real question, right? What? That's E2. It's E2. Okay, here. Okay. Why? Oh my God! A time travel happens after all of that. Why not time travel first? Okay. That's fine. Let me make sure I go to the right board. -3, 1 turn in the past. You can't go there. That's illegal. I must have fucked up. Oh, okay. It's -4. Okay. All is not lost. It's this queen goes to C1 on that board. Oh, okay. You do them at the end because you no longer have timeline priority. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. Okay. You just run the queens away. Yep. Okay. Now what? Oh, you exile them to the same place. Why not? Why not? Why not exile them to the same place? By the way, these two boards are nightmarish. Like, look at this. Like, okay, hold on. Can we just appreciate that this is like the definition of out of the frying pan and into the fire, right? Look, bruh, you on both of these boards, black takes with check, and the knight on F2 defends. This is hard mate. Hard mate. You're skewering a queen through another queen with this knight. But look, it's. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. Good move. Solid moves, mage. Soft mate? You're right. I can't even fuck around. You're right. It's soft mate. You can take the rook. Yeah, realistically, I mean, you can't take the rook, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. No, solid. By the way, this gameplay would have been like 5 times more lethal if Narek had done this the turn that I told him to, because then this rook would be under duress, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, you're right. What was I thinking? By the way, you can't take the rook. Must I remind you? And the reason that you can't... Okay, it is hard, man. Haha! Okay, get fucked! This is... Sorry, I'm losing it, guys. I apologize, right and wrong. But the reason that you can't take it is that you have to take the rook simultaneously on this board and on this board, and you can't do it because if one rook can take one of them, then it's impossible, the way that 5D chess works, for another rook to be able to take another one of them. So it's not. You can't take both. Take it with a bishop? Which bishop? I mean, what you're saying is that it's soft mate. You know, I get what you're saying, because it's in principle, but not on this board, right? It's not possible on this board. I'm just saying. But I'm not here to split hairs. Ars exile again twice immediately and no mate at all. Are you high? That doesn't work, because you can travel. Right? Check, and then after both exile, you have travels with the knight? Oh no, sorry. You don't need travels with the knight. You have travels with the rook. Yeah, actually, if you exile with both, then both of these rooks get taken by these rooks, and then they defend each other when they deliver mate here, or there are knight travels. No, fuck that. Fuck your exiles. It doesn't work. Okay, you're fucked. You're just fucked. You're just fucked. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry. I do not accept any alternative. Okay, what does black play? Okay. Minus 3L. Knight F2 goes 2. Minus 4L. F4. Oh, okay. Now we do this travel. Very, very nice. Very nice. Kind of surprised, honestly, that honestly, actually really surprised that there wasn't either like a rook swung over here or like a travel onto one of these boards where the exiles happened. I guess there wasn't a fantastic square to travel to, so that's fair enough. I accept. But taking the rook off the board where you can do the travel, I mean, okay. It's this common king sees it, and so that's fair enough. Yeah, take the free bishop. You're gonna win anyway. Actually, no, those are the boards where you're gonna win. So suddenly, I'm not sure. Don't you want to travel to make the? Do time travels happen here? They must, because you want to activate those because you have the mates. No, you see these boards. Okay, at least to me, you see these boards. You think I need to make 2 new boards so that I can access these, because this is just mate like on the board, right? I disagree with these moves. I don't think I even mate with those boards. Fuck those boards. What do you mean? What are you talking about, dog? What? Okay, takes here on both of these boards, right? And then you've got these rooks here, and then so let's say the check up and then the double exile or whatever. First of all, you have to consider what boards are those queens exiling to. It's these same boards. You're still fucked, right? And after that, you got these rooks. If you do both the thing, you've got both knight travels, which are GG, but also you've got these absolutely absurd rook takes rook, and then the next turn you have like mate. On the pass on both timelines. You don't even need to. It's okay. That's not what Nuri chose to do. So let's just get to the end of this game. Minus 1L. Common King D7. Takes 0L D6. Yep. You take the bishop. That's what you do. Makes perfect sense. Okay. 2L. Common King D5 goes 2. We just don't care. We're just wasting all of the tempi. I mean, to be fair, on this board, Nuriki probably could have taken safely with the knight, but time pressure, and you know, arguably this isn't any more or less weakening. Okay, I guess the idea is that you didn't want this to be recaptured, so you're both retreating this piece and capturing, which I totally respect. I mean, it would have freed you up to do like any other move here, like maybe push the Common King up, but I can't argue. I can't argue with results. What can I say? What can I say? E5, D4. Yep, captures here. By the way, you still got this hanging bishop. Why do neither of you give a fuck about this bishop? I'm losing my mind. Whatever. That's all good. Yep. 4L, rook, H8, F8. Yeah. Open, take the open. That's fine. I mean, yeah, whatever. You know, you didn't really need this rook over here anyway. Not a big deal. That's all good. What happens up here? Rook A8, C8. Okay, you wanted that here, so you don't want to take and retake. I mean, it would have taken an attacker off of this board, so that's kind of, you know, that felt kind of good for me if he did that trade anyway. Especially because you've got rooks on these boards down here, like this board over here where you're super safe anyway, that can come up all the way over here. So I don't know. I don't know why. Like, it just seems like easy mate here. You just hate these boards with the lined up. Took a hanging king instead. Yeah, that's fair enough. Minus 2L. Rook H8, E8. Sure, why not? All right. Line 32. Line 32 out of 37. We're getting there. Okay. 4L. Knight C3, B5. Sure. Sure. Why not? Why not? Why not? 5L, Knight C7. Knight C7 goes down 2 to take B7. Ah, that's spooky. We have counterplay. Hey, that's check. Is it covered? No. Yes, it is by this knight. You tried. You tried, man. Can't blame you. Can't blame you for trying. This F2 goes to E3. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. -1, bishop G5, E3. I guess the bishop wasn't doing much there anyway. Sure. Defend these squares, doubly defend this. You want to pull your pieces in on the boards where it feels like you're losing. You have no time to think. You make a move like that. I understand. I understand. I understand. -2L, rook B1, B4. What? Okay. How did I not roast the fuck out of Narik for not taking this fucking knight? That's okay. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, this happened. I don't know what this is threatening. Probably would have defended this this common king here on this board, but that's okay. This is what has happened. Rook B1, B4 on -2L. Yep. And then on -4L, we have common king E1, common king E1, D2. Okay, cool. -3L, we have rook A1, D1. Rook A1, D1. Am I right about that? Yep. It's the only piece you got left on the board. Yep. You probably want to move it. You probably want to centralize it. And then on 0L, we have the exiles, the counter exiles, behind the boards where you are clearly lost. On board. It goes back to 0L19 C1. Well, that's a safer board than the other boards. Can't argue with that. And then, okay, just all of the exiles. And so I think that this is 2 T19 C1. Yeah. These are the exiles. They don't look good. Needless to say, they don't look good. Okay. 3L. Hey, this is check. You got to deal with it somehow, probably with this knight. Am I right? No. What? Okay, or you run away to G8. Why not? The obvious play instead of capturing here, but whatever. Common king D6. To see what? Why? Because you want to. You kind of want to defend this board from up here, even though you just ran your queen away from it. Whatever. You're attacking these pieces. I can't be mad. I can't be mad at you. -4L. Hey, 420. Very nice. Knight C3 goes to -2 C2. Yep. That looks solid. Where does this actual mate happen? I really want to know. And then 5, and then we travel. Why? Rook c8 goes back to c8 on turn 16. Okay, guy. All right, so fuck those boards. I made on my own boards. Yeah. All right. Okay. Sure. The nerve. Whatever. Okay, so now we're on minus 5L. Rook h1 to g1. Yep, that makes sense. You need to defend, and then you get this knight over here, and then this. I mean, this isn't what I would... This is just what I said earlier, but worse. I'll say it. I'm not afraid. Let's see. At least the next few moves will be less involved. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Here on this board. What? What? Oh, okay. After rook h1 g1, rook h8 goes to h2. Sure. You want to load your rooks up here. Yeah. Next, yep, c3 f2. Then you have rook c8, h8. Yep. And then on all the way up top, now we get to the boards that were exiled on. These are reactivating slowly. Yep. Exactly what I said. By the way, there's no fucking reason to not just activate both boards. But he's gained so many more subs. I've had to purchase most of those myself, but okay. Analyze my potential threats? Bruh, I already have, all right? Fuck you. Just because you decided not to take the threats that are clearly, like, easier to take doesn't mean that I have to humor these, you know, like, whatever. I mean, this knight's going to come here to defend here. Any good rationalist would tell him to just bandword this loss and remove the channel point reward after stream. If I do that, Sonoy, the terrorists win. You have to understand this. It's just not an option. Not an option. Okay. What am I doing? 94 f2. Obvious. Yep. Obvious. This is how you win the game. If I've said it once, I've said it 10,000 times. Okay. Minus 5L. Line 35 of 37. Line 35 of 37. I'm genuinely nauseous. Knight c3 2. Yep, that's how you defend. Well done. Only move, basically. Okay, exile the queen. Yeah. You exile the queen. Why not? Where do you exile the queen to? As far away as possible. Oh, that's so funny. Look at this. Yeah. No. Yep. G1 on 3. Yep. As far away as possible. Yep. Now down here you have rook h2 h1. Yep. You're lining up for the rook battery, right? That's what you're doing. That's a no-brainer. Of course, your real mate threats are fucking right here. So I don't know. Sounds like just what I said earlier. You know? Just saying. Okay. Very good. Now on minus 5. Cool, we get an exile. Cool. Where does it go? Back as far as it can go? No. Minus 3L B1. It does. Oh, could have gone here. Oh, but you're in check on that board. Ah, okay. Well played. Yep, that happens. And then what happens? Royal Queen C1 up here. Yeah, because you got to deal with this, right? Goes to presumably A1 on turn 4. Or on 4L, right? Yep, that's 4L. Yep. Okay. It is 80 degrees in here. Now what? Minus 3. CD7 goes back. Now you activate the other one? Fuck you. Fuck you, my guy. You could have just done it immediately, but he's all like, nah. Actually, fuck those timelines. But actually, he won on those timelines anyway. So this is horse shit. Okay. Where did this go? Minus 3L. CD7 goes to minus 4L, T19, E6. Oh, obviously. Obviously, that's what happened. And then Rook H8, H1. Oh, yeah. This is bearing a striking similarity to exactly what I said should happen. But, you know. What the fuck do I know? What the fuck do I know? Not just a random activating move? Why? Why is it not just a random activating move? We're going to see what happens here. Come on, Smet, find my threats. Yeah, by the way, not clear why this didn't happen either, so actually I should do some analysis here. Why not take with check and then just win the game? It's your turn up here, right? Actually, this would have been pretty killer. Is it better? Probably not, realistically. Well, if you do this immediately, then he can't just exile one of them, right? He has to block. He can take himself, but then he loses, right? Because if takes, then there's check here. And then rook up here will be mate the next turn. Is that the threat that you meant? We're up to 69 on the banned word counter. Like, you know, this is an only move. This would also work. And then you'd check here, but then takes. Unclear. Oh, can't retakes. Oh, okay. Well, there's the threat. All right, so can't captures here because then takes. And then after whatever happens, this is mate. Alternatively, can't actually block here because this queen is smothered. Wow. Is it smothered? Like if you try to block here, then checks here. This can't take because it's pinned, right? That must be the idea. I'm gonna assume that that's the idea, right? Right? It makes sense. The thing is, there are so many ways to mate here. You could do almost anything. Okay, I think that line is forced, right? This happens, and then you check here, and then you've won the game, right? Right? Well, let's see what the last moves are. Oh my god, we're on line 37. We're on line 37. We're on line 37. Okay, common king f2 e1, basically the only move. It makes a lot of sense. And then 94 f2. All right. Very well done. Very well done. Also, this happens. Oh, that's not where you had the mate. Because after this move, this queen can exile. I just thought it was smothered and it didn't have any place to exile to. But actually, the whole point of this move was to generate a board here where this knight is here, right? Okay. I get the point. Well played. That's why this travel happened here onto a piece or onto a board where there was an undefended knight on c3. And then that delivered check. What do you want? A fucking medal? Who cares? Like, you're not... It doesn't make you a better person to not just mate on the boards where you have obvious fucking mate. But it was creative. It was creative, so can't take that away from Narik. Well spotted. Well spotted, man. Okay. 37 turns. Too many timelines. How many? So that's 7 plus 19 timelines. Cool. All right. It's over. It's finally over. Do I feel relief? Scale of 1 to 37. How much fun did you have? Push-up time? Dude, do you want me to die? I said the word. How many subs do I have to gift? How many subs? How many subs do I have to gift? I need to gift 3, right? I already gifted 2 of them. I'll give 3 subs. 3 subs. Okay. Congrats to myself for the subscriptions. Oh wow, someone gifted. What happened? Oh hey, that was perfectly timed with Narik gifting his 5 subs. Thanks so much. Cheers, Narik. Wow, Right and Wrong got one. Isaiah got one. Oh, very nice. Bike Spike got one. Craven's here. Hey, Craven. Welcome to stream. You're still going? Yep. Hour 9. But this is where I stop. Hey. Whole chat getting subbed. Yeah. So that's 50 just in time for push-ups. I don't know that I can do 50 push-ups. We've mentioned this before. I haven't worked out since COVID or since grad school. I haven't been ripped since grad school. That's what grad school does. You start a PhD, and you get noodle arms. So push-ups, it's gonna be hard. That'll be 50. Thanks for the gift subs, Narik. How many push-ups? I don't have to do them all at once. One will get Tarby a channel point reward again. Yeah, not for you fucks. not soon. I don't know. Well, let's just do as many as we can. Honestly, I am physically exhausted. I feel nauseous. I feel like I'm in no condition to do push-ups. But we'll get some out of the way. We'll try and do it. I don't know how many I can do. I really have to use the bathroom. How do I film this? I don't want to angle my camera. Oh, but now you guys get to see that I'm not wearing any pants. No, I am. For comfy streams, I wear basketball shorts. It's just what you do when it. Oh my god, it's like 80 degrees out here as well. All right, okay. Let's angle the camera. Oh, I gotta like move it so that it's in the other direction. All right, that's good enough. We're gonna do good. You know, it's gonna be good form. You know, we'll pull our hair back. Don't really have much room here, but you know, these push-ups aren't gonna do themselves, right? Oh, I don't even have enough room to extend. I can't even film sideways because my room is so small because I'm in such a tiny apartment. There we go. All right, let's go. 1, 2. I think that's half. That was 25, I think. How about we do half now, half later, right? Because I can't get to 50, and I don't think there's going to be a better stopping point. I don't think I can do another 25. All right. There you guys go. The first half of your psychopathic push-ups.